Hey guys, some Browns thoughts here on the Off the Mic Sports Network. Man, I did not think I was going to be spending a Sunday morning talking about Myles Garrett staying with the Cleveland Browns. This is stunning, to put it lightly. 3 years ago on a March day, when the Browns were given no hope, you know, they traded and signed Deshaun Watson. I don't think this is that. This completely went the other way. I honestly thought that they were going to trade him, and ultimately it was going to end up being a middle of the road type thing, and they were going to try and just acquiesce to his request and move on and try and rebuild this thing. So now the Browns, they give him 40 million a year. It's 123 million dollar 123.5 million dollars in guaranteed money. He's under contract now until 2030. And there's a no trade clause in this. So he is staying in Cleveland. That's the first thing. And that's the biggest surprise of the whole nature. And, people can mock it and say, he's staying in Cleveland. And, um, we'll never know exactly what happened. And, when he didn't get to Jimmy Haslam, did that just sort of cave him? And, Jimmy Haslam opened up his checkbook and just they gave him an empty check or whatever. I don't know what happened here. The point is he's staying. That's good. In terms of, the Browns, and, they're getting to keep what I consider to be, and considering if he can continue on this trajectory of what he's been on his entire career, he could go down in Jim Brown territory in terms of greatest Cleveland Brown of all time, ever to wear the uniform. Like, he's that good. So I'm thrilled that Myles Garrett is staying in Cleveland. That being said, this whole thing from January to now has been an unmitigated disaster. From the trade request to him going on Media Row. Some people are saying he owes us an apology. It was like, listen, I have always I was on the side of Myles Garrett. He had, pretty much killed himself for this organization where he had earned the right to ask for a trade and get the hell out of here. That being said, now he has caved. And, I don't know if it was necessarily a caved or if this was always a plan to get more money. Myles Garrett has more than earned this extra money as well, and to be the highest paid defensive player in football. Like, he absolutely deserves it. The trickle down effect of what this means is, like, whereas we all thought the Deshaun Watson trade and, that fully guaranteed contract was going to change things, and it didn't. This is going to change a lot in the NFL because Trey Hendrickson wants to get paid. Micah Parsons wants to get paid. There's people in Cincinnati as well on the offensive side that want to get paid that still haven't gotten paid. The lesson here is you pay your guys, okay? And the Browns didn't even have to pay him. And maybe this was the goal all along, but that's really a big message to the NFL is that, okay, the Browns look, he may never win a championship. And, maybe, the championship stuff, and like you said, like Ted DiBiase said, and this is, you guys, I love wrestling. Everybody's got a price. Is it a sellout? No. I mean, like, he earned the right to get paid like that, and the Browns weren't going to trade him. And what are you going to sit in and just not do? What are you not going to play in your prime years of your career? Are you kidding me? That's crazy. So, that's the first thing. So now, what does this mean for moving forward with the Browns? Because obviously they got bigger things to fry in the next month and a half with the NFL draft. And the big conversation is, what are they going to do at number 2? Because Abdul Carter is potentially going to be available. Shedeur Sanders has been a conversation. Cam Ward. I think one of Cam Ward or Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter is going to go number 1 overall. I do think that that's going to happen. If Cam Ward goes number 1 overall, given what has happened here with the breaking news that Myles Garrett has re-signed or extended with the Browns, record-breaking extension. If Cam Ward goes number 1, I am doing one of two things. I am running that card up to the podium to draft Abdul Carter, or I am trading out. Those are the only two options. The only two options in that situation. And here's why. Everybody will clamor for Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders, all due respect to him, If his name wasn't Sanders, he would not even be in the discussion for number 2 overall. He's talented, but he is not the number 2 pick in the NFL draft. And if a quarterback goes number 1, you do not need to be desperate and sell out and go for the quarterback. There are better ways to handle the quarterback position than taking Shedeur Sanders and compounding the situation with Myles Garrett now under your control. You have him in his prime. Why not go get another pass rusher? You saw what the Eagles did in the Super Bowl, right? Like, the Eagles were taking a decent offensive line. It wasn't great for the Chiefs, but they took a decent offensive line protecting a great quarterback and absolutely destroyed Patrick Mahomes. That's what happens. Like, you saw at Tampa. Like, yeah, granted, the Chiefs' offensive line was literally down to backups. Great pass rush wins over anything in the NFL. Yes, this is a passing and an offensive league, but if you could disrupt the passer, you are going to create havoc. And then you could go figure out the quarterback position elsewhere, whether it be Aaron Rodgers, whether it be Kirk Cousins, whether, I mean, it's not going to be Geno Smith anymore. Like, you can go get a veteran option and go find a Will Howard or a Jackson Dart, potentially, if he's able to fall out of the first round, which I don't know if that's going to happen. Maybe they'll have to trade up into the back half of the first round to get Jackson Dart if he falls. Riley Leonard, Dylan Gabriel. Like, there are project guys in this class that, you know, if I have a year, Aaron Rodgers has proved, even with the bullshit, Aaron Rodgers proved at the end of last year that he could still play. So I would much rather do that than, you know, invest in a rookie quarterback. The only one that I'm even remotely considering at number 2 overall is Cam Ward. And if it came to the situation of Travis Hunter goes 1 and it's Cam Ward and Abdul Carter on the board at number 2, that's a really tough decision for the Browns to make. To me, if that's the situation, I would heavily consider either talking to the Giants at 3 and saying, "Hey, do you guys want to switch with us?" Assuming that they'll take Cam Ward, they probably will, and then trade back at number 3 and then draft Abdul Carter. That's what I would do. And, you know, because listen, the Browns at this point, like, now with you investing in Myles Garrett, I don't think you need to just go start over the rookie quarterback situation. You, with Myles Garrett there in the organization, he's got a no trade. You got some leeway here. And I don't know if they're going to win a Super Bowl. I mean, it seems slim knowing the hopes of this organization, but this was a shocking situation that I did not expect to happen. A guy comes back, he gets paid enough money, and, you know, I still do not like how this organization has done business the last few years, but this was a pleasant surprise to wake up to and see that the Cleveland Browns ultimately were able to get Myles Garrett to agree to stay in Cleveland and not continue his trade pursuit. It's just just a shocking turn of events. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. We'll have a lot more coming up. Obviously, the league year is about to start in the NFL, which means there's going to be a lot of free agency news and a lot of, like, you know, trades discussions and, like, you know, potentially the stuff that goes on with the draft in terms of the picks, because maybe the Titans don't pick at 1. But shocking news, Myles Garrett staying in Cleveland. Very happy to see it. And anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.